Hey everybody, welcome back to the shop. Today we're going to go over the third in my Jorgensen hand plane series, the smoother, the number 4. I'm really looking forward to it. In the first video we went over this number 102, and in the second video we went over the 60.5 block plane. I really like this block plane. The 102 also worked very well for me. Don't know how many people are going to have a use case for this, but if you do, it's an excellent little tool. Now, the smoother, they're calling it a number 4. I'm gonna fib to you here. I'm not gonna fib to you here. I opened this at the store. This is box number 2. I did take the first one back that you saw in the last 2 videos. When I started to make this video earlier today, I opened it up and the plane was smashed to pieces. The knob and the tote were both busted up. Now, obviously, this is not a Lowe's or a Jorgensen problem. This happened in transit from wherever these are made across the ocean to here, and then being trucked to the Lowe's where I went and bought it. Somewhere it took a beating and got smashed up. Lowe's took very good care of me, refunded my money, gave me another plane. They had to do a refund and then a buy. I opened this in the store to make sure this one was okay. So this is kind of a second unboxing for you unboxers. Here we go. I do know how to get this one apart now, since this is the second one I'm opening, and I've already opened this one. Cardboard, plastic, and plain. And yes, this one is in nice shape. We do have our manual, and that's it. That's all that comes in the box. That's all that I would expect to come in the box, but this one is in good shape. And I can tell you, it is heavy. It is, in my mind, it feels heavier than this, but, well, I don't know now. Let's do a little scale test here. This is 65.71 ounces. This is 54.99 ounces, so 10 ounces heavier for the Jorgensen. That's a bit of a weight. I'm not 100% sure if that's going to bother me yet. I'll reserve judgment on that until we get it to a board and see if it works. Then I'll know if the weight bothers me or not. But it is heavy. It's just something to know if you are, somebody that doesn't like a lot of weight on a plane. So, what else is different? Before I even take them apart, there's a couple of things we can see that are different other than the weight. The knob is bigger. I don't think that matters. They've definitely copied the newer tall knob. The color, obviously, Jorgensen goes with this orange. I'm going to be honest, I'm not really a fan of the orange, but you know what? It's their company color, so good for them for continuing to use it. It doesn't affect the plane at all, so it doesn't really bother me. But the big difference here is right here on the lever cap, or lack of lever cap. This is a true lever cap. It's a lever that goes down, provides pressure, holds the blade in. It holds it in, if you set it right, it holds the blade in firm enough that you can still make adjustments with your lattimer adjuster and your depth adjuster. And the reason that I like a lever cap more than this twist cap is every time you loosen this, you have to re-guess, how tight it is to see if you can make the adjustments. Whereas the lever cap, you loosen it, you snap it back, it's at the same tension. So I'm a bigger fan of the lever cap than this screw cap, but you know what? Veritas uses this system. It works fine, not a big deal. So let's take it apart. It comes out very easily. You just screw it loose and pull it out. The blade assembly, again, there's a lot of oil on here. I'm going to have to clean it up. But again, a 3mm, 1/8 inch thick O2 steel blade. Jorgensen has done an excellent job so far with the blades. I don't see any reason why I'm going to have a problem with this one, but I do got to get it on my stone and see how flat it is. but so far it looks good. Let me get this one to the same point. You know what? I'm going to bring the camera in over top to take the frogs apart because there's some things in here I want you to see. Hey guys, before I get the camera in here, I did put it back together. I want to give you the does it work out of the box thing. This, as you can see, is making some dusty shavings. They're not full length. So it does cut some. We're going to make this much better. That is a testament to Jorgensen's blades. They're pretty good blades in these planes. I don't think it's perfectly sharp yet, which is why I'm getting this dusty type of shaving. We'll make this much better. So let me get the light in here now. We'll take them back apart. All right, a quick disassembly to show the slight differences. For the most part, they look the same. Both frogs from this view look pretty similar. I'm adjusting this frog right here. You can see I'm turning the screw in the back and moving the frog forward. Now, the old plane rests on 4 milled points there, and the new plane rests on that solid milled area that's all silver there. That's a much better connection point, as you can see when I put the frog back on. I kind of like the frog mounting mechanism on this one much better than the old plane. And here's one more view just to show you the difference between the way the two frogs mount. I think this is one of the most significant differences between the two planes. Okay, moving on to the two blade assemblies. The Jorgensen blade assembly is much more significant than the old one. Both the blade and the chip breaker are a more substantial steel. They're O2 steel, and they're 3 millimeters thick each, so 1/8 of an inch thick. The old Stanley we're pulling apart here is a much thinner blade, and the chip breaker is just a piece of stamped steel, it looks like. This chip breaker is much more significant. Alright, it's time to lap the back of the blade. I started on 5,000, wasn't very successful. Dropped down to 1,000 and then worked my way back up through 5,000 and 8,000, and did get, you see I'm on 8,000 here, I did get a good polish. I then did drop to my strop as well, just to give it as good of a finish as I could. Here you can see the drop, and that is looking pretty good. I'm happy with that. Okay, now that the back is good, let's work on the bevel. I did use my Veritas Mark II honing guide here. I tried 8,000 just to start, dropped all the way down to 1,000. I had to do some work here. Part of this is the Veritas guide's fault. It is very exacting at 25 degrees. If your blade is off of 25 by a slight amount, you have to remove that metal, which is what I had to do here. So it is now true at 25 per Veritas. So that's not truly a Jorgensen problem, because they might have been right and Veritas could be wrong. Who knows? But I did get through on the 1,000 grit stone to what Veritas wanted 25 degrees to be, and I'm checking here to see that it's now complete. Okay, moving on to the 5,000 stone, I will give it a little flattening here, and then we're going to go through 5,000 and 8,000, but I am on the 5,000 wearing the corners a little bit. You see I'm emphasizing the left corner here. I did both the left and the right. I then set the guide for a micro bevel, which I'm pointing to now. And then I went to 8,000 for the micro bevel and to the strop, which you'll see here in a second. Okay guys, welcome back. It's the next day. So as you could see, I took it apart, gave you a little montage there that kind of showed you the differences between an old Stanley No. 4 and this Jorgensen. Big difference, lever cap on the old Stanley, screw type cap here. I'm more of a fan of the lever cap. The blade assembly is much better on the Jorgensen, and I believe the frog mounts into the Jorgensen better than the old Stanleys. But let's be honest, the old Stanleys have been working for 100 years the way they mount, so I don't think that's that big of a deal, but it does allow you to get the frog flatter and truer into the casting. Now, today I want to go over a few more things. I want to check the bottom to see how flat it is. And to do that, I want to raise my blade. Okay. And I'm just going to go, this is 280 paper. I'm going to put some Sharpie marks on here. see what we get dry. Okay, more what I would expect. A little inconclusive, let's do a little bit more. I wish I had a longer granite plate. Okay, I don't know how well you can see this. I'm just going to take my Sharpie and dry. What I'm seeing is the whole toe, everything in front of the mouth has flattened pretty nicely. And it's flattened pretty nicely for about 3/4 of an inch behind the mouth. What it looks like we have is a concave area there in the middle of the plane. The heel and the toe are good, and the sides are good. And right in here we have, you know, it's starting to remove it, but it's still showing some marks. Now, how bad is this? I'm going to give this another 5 minutes or so. I'll put a few more sheets of paper down here, see how far I can get it down. But to be perfectly honest with you, if you're flat on the toe, the heel, the sides, and both sides of the mouth, you're technically in plane across the whole plane, and your plane will sit on your board flat, and it should make a good smoothing cut. This area here can ride up a little bit, and it doesn't affect anything. Now, in a perfect world, we want to get it as smooth as we can, so let me give it a little bit more work. After 10 more minutes on 2 sheets of paper, we are at this point. Okay, this is good. I don't know if you can see this now, but it's all flat in front of the toe, and it's flat from here to the toe and from here to the heel. It's definitely flat here and here. This is definitely an acceptable bottom. And with that much flat on either side of the mouth and the toe and the heel in plane, that's as far as I'm going to go. Now, you could keep going. You could do this for probably another half hour and another 10 sheets of 280 paper and get this thing perfect. I'm not going to do that because I know it's good the way it is. That is totally up to you. Okay, guys, we got a piece of, I guess this is pine. Might as well start with something fairly easy. And as you can see, I started already, and I'm getting nice shavings off of it. They're a little, I'm going to be honest, this board hasn't really been perfectly trued yet, so right now my shavings are a little clunky, but we're getting close to true here. Okay, off camera, I actually adjusted the frog, closed the mouth up a little bit. When we took this apart and took the frog out, I just put it back in and didn't really pay attention to its adjustment, and it was wide open, so I tightened it up a little bit, and it's working a little better. Okay, 2 things I noticed that were problematic with this little piece of oak I put on here. One, the vise is trying to rotate. You can see that the bench is moving. My bench top is just attached to a Craig workstation, and it's coming loose. So that's obviously not the plane's fault. I'm just having a little bit of problem with the vise. Second is the screw lever cap mechanism came loose on me. That's something I have to learn to tighten that down to the right amount. When it came loose, it pushed the blade back, and I started to get some bad shavings. I corrected that, and it started working again. So that is a learning curve I have to pick up. Alright guys, a few final thoughts on the Jorgensen No. 4. I'll be honest, the cuts I was getting in the last piece of the video weren't the greatest. I went back and resharpened the blade again, and now it's doing much better. These are definitely good shavings. So You know, some of it was user error on my fault. The whole screw lever cap thing I had to get used to. A few other thoughts about this plane. At $70, it's very inexpensive, so it's priced well. The weight doesn't bother me, but it might bother some of you, so that's something to think about. This is a heavy plane. You want to know something? Veritas planes are really heavy too. So that's a personal preference thing, so I'm not going to say yay or nay there. I like the weight, you may not. That's all I can say on it. The other thing is ergonomics. I don't like the angle of this tote because my hand, it's a good tote for size. My hand fits it well, but my fingers barely reach the adjustment knob. On a number 4, let me get my number 4 back out here. When my hand goes in, as you can see, my finger goes way past the adjustment knob, and it's much easier to make the adjustment. See where my finger goes there? And it barely fingertip reaches there. So ergonomically, it's not, I don't think, as good as the Stanley. Thanks for watching, everybody. Please hit the like button, and if you haven't subscribed, please go ahead and subscribe. Have a great day. We'll see you in the next one.